Everybody, welcome into the Proline TV Western Conference play-in preview and playoff preview snapshot because we're not really picking series. Although, if these guys like something, they will certainly try to steer you in the right direction. A separate Eastern Conference video is available for your consumption to talk about those play-in series and the series that we do know. And same rationale, best of seven in the West. The 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 series are known and look very compelling. We know it's the top seeded Oklahoma City Thunder who basically wrapped up the top seed in the West a month ago, and the surprising Houston Rockets as the 2 seed. They'll wait their opponents, but the play-in that everybody's talking about is the 7-8 in the West, where the Golden State Warriors will host the Memphis Grizzlies. And the reason why the Warriors are in that game is because James Harden came into Chase Center and did James Harden things down the stretch and in overtime to steal a game for the Clippers. So his buddy Kawhi Leonard does not have to play an extra week. And old heads like Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler do. And Butler even took a knee to the thigh or a knee to the knee. So that's something that we need to watch for as the Warriors host the Grizzlies in a matchup where the total is at 229 and a half against a Grizzlies team that employs the fastest pace in the NBA. And the Warriors are a very healthy 7-point favorite.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what that total looks like.
229.
Yeah.
Okay. What did it open? Let me look. 32. Open 32.
I'm actually looking over in this game. I think we're going to see a fast pace from both teams. I was very disappointed that Golden State lost outright on Sunday with so much at stake, and they could have used the extra days of rest that would have been afforded had they finished in the top six. But I think their experience is such that they'll be able to get by Memphis. The concern is, do I want to lay 7 points? If the money line were a little bit better, I would have preferred to lay it, but minus 300 I just can't do, and it's not like baseball where I can lay a run and a half or something like that and lower the price. So I guess my best way of backing Golden State would be through playing this as a high scoring game, because I think whoever is trailing, if it becomes a margin, they're going to have to force an even quicker pace so the game does not get out of hand.
Well, we have two days of basketball. We got Tuesday and Wednesday that we pretty well know what the hell's going on. And some of the prices are out of line, but you can play money line parlays. So you can get rid of the point spreads that we might feel are too big. Like, for example, Golden State, Orlando. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? They're both home. We both like them. We all like them. To win, we like them.
I don't. All right, so here's where we stand on Golden State and Memphis. One name to know is Tuomas Isalo, who I wouldn't have been, and I follow the NBA religiously, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who that was a couple of weeks ago. But he replaced Taylor Jenkins as the head coach of these Grizzlies and is now matched up against Steve Kerr in one of 2 instances in the West where we've got first-time coaches coaching against some of the best and longest tenured coaches in the game. But we do also have history between the Warriors and the Grizzlies, where the Grizzlies stunned the Warriors in a play-in a few years ago, 2021. Really, Ja Morant took over, and they won at Chase Center to deny the Warriors a play-in victory. It was the Grizzlies that moved on in overtime in a very memorable game. And then these two teams played in a series a few years back that Golden State got some revenge. But these are teams that, from the standpoint of Steph Curry having to deal with somebody's athleticism, you would give him a list and Ja Morant would be on it as to guys he would not want to see. Pace-wise, though, the Grizzlies do employ the fastest pace, which probably does play into Golden State's liking. But between getting out of this game, if they lose, which I think is really a possibility, they would then have a game that they'd be significantly favored in on Friday. And then the Houston Rockets, the worst possible opponent, would not be in their agenda as the number 7 seed, as a 7-2, whereas they would be if the Grizzlies don't win this game. They would then face the Oklahoma City Thunder. And while the Thunder are the more complete team, athleticism-wise and what they can take out of you from a defensive standpoint, I think Houston's the worst matchup for Golden State. So a lot to digest in this.
I don't think they're worried about that right now, Tony. I think they just want to win and get in. Their experience over virtually any team in the conference, if not the league, gives them the confidence that they can go deep into these players, especially the way that Curry and Butler have meshed together so nicely when they're on the court. So I think that, it's a different question if you want to lay 7 with Memphis, okay, or you'll take 7 rather with Memphis, which I could understand. That's why I prefer the over in the game so that I don't have to worry about the points, and I can't lay the even a parlay laying 3-1. What does it it increases your wage, your profit by 1/3 of what you would win laying 3-1 on whatever it is. So I still think for me the preference is the total. But as far as advancing, I think I don't think Golden State cares about the second round matchup, because if they don't make it out of this game, there's no first round matchup.
Well, I mean, they if they don't make it out of this game, they do have Friday.
Yeah.
But my point is Friday's a much more winnable game than this one, particularly if Jimmy Butler's not 100%, because it did look like a pretty significant injury. Nothing that should keep him out, but his little comment of, "Oh, I'll go home, have some coffee, and play some dominoes, and hopefully feel better." That's not reassuring. So, I mean, look, in a one game where you have Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr. capable of stealing a game on the road, they don't care where they play. Really a difficult game for Golden State. I'm surprised.
Steve Kerr will be mentioning that upset in the play-in from a few years ago throughout the next few days.
Not to mention that Morant looks great. Yeah. Morant looks at a level that he hasn't really gotten to in years due to injuries and suspensions.
And I think Kerr will also bring up the fact of what happened on Sunday against the Clippers. I think we're going to see a very focused 48-minute effort out of Golden State. Their season's effectively on the line.
You can bring it up, but that's only going to go so far. I mean, they just lost the game they really wanted to win, and they had to have, and the Clippers came in and took it. Jim, I could tell that you're gung-ho on Golden State. Do you like Golden State and to persevere and win the entire West?
Well, yes and no. And the reason is I say no. I don't like the way they've closed out the last week of the season. And I don't like the fact that they're getting all their points from 2 guys, Butler and Steph. And they're not getting the third. They need the third option that scores. Now, we know Draymond does the rebounding and he upsets everybody and he disrupts the other team. But we need some points from somebody else that can be consistently there for them, especially now if Butler is actually hurt a little bit. So it's a bothersome thing, and an up-tempo, if you're hurt, the up-tempo doesn't help you. This is a big question mark now. I mean, and basically I like the Warriors to possibly get through the West and win it, but the way the Clippers are starting to play, and with Kawhi playing well, and of course, Harden is always doing something, and
he's had a great year. He's first or second team All NBA.
Yeah, it's now starting to look a little bit more dangerous for the Warriors. They're not. I need the third option to come in there consistently and put up some points. I mean, they get 66 points from Butler and Steph, and they still have trouble on their home floor in a game they wanted to win. That's not impressive to me.
We're going to come back to who wins the Western Conference, because the Warriors are in that conversation. For brevity's sake, we're going to gloss over.
By the way,
just give me 1 second. We're going to gloss over Dallas and Memphis. So if you guys have anything to say on Dallas and Memphis, say it now or forever hold your peace.
I was just going to mention that the game on Sunday was equally as important to the Clippers as it was to the Warriors, and the fact that it went overtime shows basically a pick'em game.
Absolutely.
I think the Clippers take down the Nuggets. I think they're going to beat them, and I've already got money on that.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about that series here in a second. I just wanted to get the Mavericks and Kings out of the way. because
I don't like. I'm not doing anything with Dallas. Memphis is dangerous, especially in this particular game. Coming off that game they lost, with the Warriors lost, and the pace bothers me. And the 7 points, we got a 130-point game, 130-point game, whatever the hell it is. The number isn't that high for a pace that's that high. Yeah. So, if you like the Warriors, I'm not scared of the number, but I'm worried about that. They're not getting points from somebody else consistently in that lineup, and that bothers me.
We got about 10 minutes.
I was going to say, Tony, what's Dallas's record since the trade?
I mean, really doesn't matter. It's not good, but it doesn't matter because Anthony Davis was gone after.
Yeah, no, how have they done? Not very well.
But Anthony Davis has been back. They've been okay.
Yeah. I would take the points with Dallas in the game tomorrow on Wednesday
against Sacramento.
Against Sacramento, yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's talk about the Western Conference as a whole before we break down these last two numbers. And again, we got about 10 minutes to do this. The Western Conference favorite is the Oklahoma City Thunder at a chalky $140 lay-in. The Lakers are plus 600 as your number 2 option. Very interestingly, the second seeded Houston Rockets are plus 2,500. So you've got the Warriors at plus 750, the Nuggets at plus 950, the Clippers at plus 1,500, and the Timberwolves at plus 2,000, all ahead of the second seeded Rockets. These are DraftKings.
Who's the number 4 seed?
The number 4 seed is the Clippers.
Okay, they'd have to go up against OKC if both teams get by the first round.
Right. The Clippers and Nuggets winner. Pardon me. The Clippers are the 5 seed playing at Denver. The Nuggets Clippers winner plays OKC.
Right. The winner of that series plays OKC. Right.
So, what stands out to you, Andy, on long shots? Because obviously the Thunder are favored for legitimately for a reason. But a lot of people don't believe that their youth is going to overcome Luka and LeBron with the Lakers, the Warriors, and their pedigree. Nikola Jokic, even despite the coaching change. I know Jim likes the Clippers. There's plenty of reasons to like the Clippers. Even the Timberwolves have been playing solid of late. And again, a lot of people sleeping on the Rockets. So do you have anybody that really you might ride with as a long shot?
What was the Lakers price you said?
Plus 600, second in the West.
That's not a terrible price considering what Doncic brings to the team. LeBron seems rejuvenated. There's good supporting cast. I could certainly see them because they would. They're the number 2 seed. They're the 2 seed, Lakers 2 or 3. I think.
No, the Lakers are the 3 seed. The Rockets.
Yeah. I was going to say they would not play OKC until the championship.
Right.
Until the Western Conference championship. I could see them getting by the Rockets at 6-1. You might be able to do something in the championship series if you wanted to, although let's see if the Lakers and OKC, how they're playing going into that series. Obviously, they're playing well enough to have win, but did they win looking good or win by getting by? I would say the Lakers at 6-1 right now is very reasonable, very attractive, especially with what Doncic brings.
If the Warriors win, who do they play?
The Warriors depends on when they win, Jim. If they beat the Grizzlies, they're the 7th seed and play the Rockets. If they lose and need to win on Friday, they're the 8th seed and play the Thunder.
By the way, I would play Golden State against the Rockets, and because I like the legacy that they have. What are their odds for the conference? I don't know. Did you mention them?
Yes. You want the odds for the conference?
For the conference.
They're just behind the Lakers as the third choice at plus 750.
Oh, can't play them at that price.
Well, look, and here's something just to wrap up our overview portion, because we will look at these 2 series that we know about. The Warriors would play a Rockets team that have the most athletic wing defender in the entire NBA, and Amin Thompson, who just shut down Steph Curry. That's why I'm so leery about the Warriors long term, and think it would not be the end of the world if they lose to the Grizzlies and then are forced to be the 8th seed. I think they match up better with the Thunder than they do the Rockets. Sounds crazy, but I believe that.
Well, I have money on the Clippers and the Warriors to win the West, and I added the Clippers. I thought the Warriors were the right side, but I don't like the balance. But I'm liking what the Clippers are doing, and I think they can take down the Nuggets. The Nuggets they got the best player in the league. Okay, we understand that, but they have other issues. Now, the Thunder, I think, are beatable. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of very highly experienced, well-coached teams in the West. It's a whole different animal out West. The Clippers are well-coached. The Lakers are playing well. You got LeBron there, and you got Luka. I mean, those two guys together are dangerous as hell. And there's a lot of value in some of these underdogs. You're getting some very good prices. I get $1,500-$1,600 on the Clippers. If I get by the Nuggets, what's that price going to be? It's going to be a lot shorter. So I got to take the number.
Got to take the Clippers now, says Jim Feist, if you like them. We're going to talk about the Clippers and the Nuggets right now because we know that this series is coming up, and it's the closest series odds makers forecast for this first batch of games. Nuggets are a favorite at -145, and the Clips are +120. Andy, your thoughts on Clippers Nuggets? Do you see it as a toss-up series too?
I blasted the coaching decision. I think it was last week that Denver made, but it certainly didn't seem to really have a negative impact so far. So maybe there was more internal things going on with the players and the coach as opposed to just ownership and the coach, because the players certainly have responded well. I'm with Jim. I like the way the Clippers are playing. I like the fact that they got two go-to guys that are very dependable, very reliable, playing well. But that's reflected in the competitiveness of the price of this series.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So once again, my approach to that series will probably be play the Clippers straight up money line to win one of the first two games on the road, and take my chances after that.
And if they lose those two games, they'll be fine, because if the Nuggets don't win those two games in altitude at home, they're in serious trouble. And everybody that watched the Warriors and the Clippers on Sunday saw that Kawhi Leonard looks 100%. They've got Norman Powell, could have been an all-star this year, and obviously James Harden. So you technically have three closers.
To that point, if you're asking me which team has a better chance of going 2-0 at home, I'd say the Clippers more so than the Nuggets.
Ivica Zubac is no slouch making Jokic work. Let's talk about the Lakers and Timberwolves too, and then we need to
get Jim's opinion on the. He already gave.
He likes the Clippers to win it all. I mean, he likes the Clippers to win the West potentially, so he likes the Clippers over the Nuggets. That's true, right, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to for our time constraints. Let's go to the Lakers and Timberwolves, because this is an enormous series. You got the star power Anthony Edwards, who has been great down the stretch. Julius Randle has been much better since returning from injury. You've got Rudy Gobert against Luka Doncic. Again, more drama. We'll see if Doncic will abuse him in pick and rolls and make it so that Chris Finch has to bench him again. We saw this in the Western Conference Finals, Minnesota and Dallas. Now we see Minnesota against the Luka-led Lakers, and LeBron James is there too. What do you guys like? Lakers a -190 favorite, but Minnesota, I mean, +155, and everybody's looking at the shiny bright lights for good reason with the Lakers. Timberwolves were great last year, not so consistent this year. Obviously, no Karl Anthony Towns. Jim, would you take the plunge with the Timberwolves?
No, I already bet the Lakers in the series.
Okay, at 190.
Yes, I did.
What was your rationale behind that?
You got pedigree. I like pedigree. I mean, LeBron James knows how to win. He's been around. He's 90 years old. I don't know. He just keeps going. He takes whatever drugs he likes. I want some. Luka, of course, is just opened it up. It's going to be a wild. It's going to be tough to beat them. We're going to see if the coach can stand up in a big pressure situation. He's new. I can't fault the Timberwolves, but I like the Lakers to win it. It might go all the way to 7, but I like them.
What about you, Andy?
Well, Minnesota was one of the more disappointing teams I felt throughout the course of the regular season. They did start to play better towards the end, and of course, Ant is one of the. But he still may only be the third best player on the court in this series, depending upon the current LeBron matches up against Ant. Who you think is better? Obviously, I think long term from this point on, Ant's going to have an outstanding career. But right now, you'd have to say Doncic is right up there, and then who is it, LeBron or Ant after that? But then again, who's the second best guy on Minnesota? How does he compare to the second best guy on the Lakers? And that might not be that close, with the Lakers having the edge. So once again, my strategy here would be to take a play on Minnesota on the money line to win one of the first two games. If they look good in doing so and going back home, maybe at that point, if the series goes to Minnesota 1-1, you might still get a very nice price on Minnesota to win the series. And at the same point, the price on the Lakers might not be that bad. They won't be minus 190 as they are pre-series, with the series now being a best of 5, with Minnesota having 3 of the 5 games. So I'll play Minnesota to win one of the 2 games, and then I'll reassess who I want to play in the series. Certainly, based upon what I've seen out of these teams throughout the year, and especially over the last part of the season, even with Minnesota's improved play, you'd have to like the Lakers to advance, but I'm not willing to bet on them right now.
Briefly, and we're going to finish up and wrap up right after this, because I want, off the cuff, 20 words or less, your interpretation on the following. The Minnesota Timberwolves plus 1.5 games, the chalk at minus 145 in the series against the Lakers. The Lakers minus 1.5 games, plus 120. Jim, what does that tell you?
7 games. I'm looking at 7 games.
Andy?
So you would take the plus 1.5 minus 145 to go 7. Well, yeah, if it goes 7 games, it goes Minnesota, because Minnesota cashes automatically if it goes 7 games. They can still win the series.
No, and what are your thoughts on odds makers are telling you long series or what?
Not really all that much, with 145 as a pretty decent price to go 7 games. I would probably take. I'd probably still go with the Lakers. I think they can win in 5.
Very good. All right, and
I got to interject something here. What we're talking about is series prices and in-game, but Andy pointed out, and I think this is very important. As these teams split, like the first 2 games are split, the odds change so much. The advantages go to the player, which is us, to make adjustments on our plays and our prices that we get. There's a lot of stuff that goes on over a 7-game series where you can get numbers. And now, if the Lakers open up and win the first 2 games, I'm not going to be able to make any adjustments on the Lakers. But if they do split, I'm coming back with the Lakers with a bigger number.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, Jim, and this is the prevailing theme of this show and these thoughts, is this is pre-flop. We're always going to adjust.
See, now a better prop that I would like to see, Tony, is who will have the better point spread record throughout the series.
Yeah. That's I don't even know if they do that, but that is cool.
It'd be a good one to have, so that you could basically say, I don't think Minnesota can win the series straight up, but I think they can have a better point spread record in the series, because they'll be getting. If it's minus 7 in the first game, Minnesota Lakers.
Is it that? I have it up, but
I have not seen the number.
No, they're out. They're out.
Yeah, let me see. I'm sorry. It's 4.5. It's 4.5. Yeah, it's 4.5. That's different. So you might very well see Minnesota a very slight favorite at home. If it's 4.5 at the Lakers.
This looks long haulish. Though to close, I like the Lakers at plus 600 as my value play, and also like the Clippers at plus 1,500 if I had to pick a second.
That's the conference play.
To win the Western Conference, correct? Yeah. Not a champion. Andy, who's your favorite? You can give me 2 since I went to.
I would go.
Warriors.
I still like Oklahoma City the way.
Yeah, throwing them out because they're the favorite.
Oh, okay. I mentioned the Lakers before at plus 600. I thought is a really good price, and if I were going to say talent wise, I guess the Clippers.
Okay, Jim, you definitely like the Clippers. Anybody
else?
Yeah,
we're all on the same side. I mean, I backed off a little bit on the Warriors. I do have money on them, but I'm not liking what they're doing the last week of the season.
Yeah, they definitely made their road a little tougher, not getting the job done.
By the way, if you have the second round series that looks like we could see Clippers and Lakers, right? They would match up in the second round.
No, I don't think so.
No, the Clippers are the 4-5 series.
Oh,
the
4-5.
Lakers
Okay, I'm sorry.
are in the 3-6. So
right. Houston is up there in the 3. Son. Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody. Don't forget that on Wednesdays, we do the flagship with the three people you see right now. And we're joined by Mark Lawrence and Greg DePalma, and we will be talking NBA playoffs, I am sure. We also have the baseball betting show, The Bash, on Mondays and Thursdays. So keep an eye out for that. An Eastern Conference play-in preview is available on another vid. And this has been your Western Conference snapshot. For Jim Feist and Andy Iskoe, I'm Tony Mejia. Please like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about Proline TV. We're giving you valuable advice for free. All we ask is that you watch and tell a friend. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Good job, guys. You guys
Well
are
done.
excellent. Excellent.
I was able to change my luncheon plans, so I was able to sit through the whole.
All right. So what are you eating?